All right, welcome. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the coolest, most clever ideas in all of artificial intelligence. It's really the secret sauce that lets machines understand language the way they do. So let's just jump right in with a big question, right? How on earth can a computer, a machine that only gets ones and zeros, possibly understand what a word means? How do we teach it the difference between happy and sad or king and queen when it's never felt an emotion or, ruled a kingdom? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple and elegant. So, the very first step is this really brilliant trick. We're going to translate the messy, complicated world of human language into the nice, clean, organized world of math. We literally turn words into coordinates. And the way we do this is with something called an embedding. Now, don't let the fancy word fool you. All it is, as you can see, is a list of numbers. It's literally like giving every single word its own unique GPS coordinate, but on a giant, invisible map of meaning. So this map where all our words live, it has a technical name, a vector space. But honestly, forget the jargon. Just think of it like this awesome magic library in space. In this library, you don't need a card catalog. Books about dogs just naturally float right next to books about wolves. Things with similar meanings automatically get close to each other. Okay, let's actually try to visualize this. Imagine I've got a big whiteboard here, right? First, I'm going to put a dot on the board for the word man. Now, since a king is related to a man, the computer puts the coordinate for king very, very close by. They're basically neighbors on our meaning map. All right, you with me? Now, let's go to another part of our map, our whiteboard, and we'll put a dot down for woman. And you guessed it, right nearby, we put the dot for queen. They formed their own little neighborhood of related concepts. Okay, now here comes the magic. Seriously, this is the cool part. Let's draw an arrow starting at man and pointing to king. Now, this arrow, it's not just a line. It actually represents a concept. It has a specific direction and a specific length. You could call it the add royalty arrow. And here's where it all clicks. If we take that exact same arrow, same direction, same length, and we start it at the word woman, where do you think it's going to point? Exactly, straight to queen. This is huge. The computer didn't just learn definitions, it learned the relationship of royalty, just by using simple math and geometry. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this actually show up in the real world? Let's get practical and talk about something you probably use every single day, like a search engine. So say you're feeling really wiped out, and you search for the word exhausted. What's happening behind the scenes? Well, it's pretty simple. First, the system finds the GPS coordinates for exhausted on its map. Then it just looks around for the closest neighbors. And what does it find right next door? The word tired. So it shows you that result. See? It's not just matching letters, it's actually matching meaning. And that really brings us to the single most important rule of this whole thing. It's so simple, but so powerful. On this map, closeness is meaning. If two words are next to each other, their meanings are similar. If they're on opposite sides of the map, they're different. That's it. That's the secret. All right, so Chapter 3. The big takeaway. We've seen the how, but now let's talk about the so what. Why does this matter to you and me and for the future of pretty much all the technology we use? Well, this idea of turning meaning into math, it changes everything. It's the reason why similar ideas just naturally cluster together in the machine's brain. It lets AI understand really complex relationships with just simple geometry. And this is the engine behind so much of what you see today. Your Netflix recommendations, language translation, chatbots, it all comes back to this basic idea of a map of meaning. And here's the final mind-blowing part. This isn't just for words. You can use this exact same idea for pictures, for sounds, for your shopping habits, for complex scientific data, for just about anything really. You can turn anything into a coordinate on a map. So the big question we're left with isn't if a machine can understand, it's what do we want it to understand next.